All right, you are live.
Great, thank you. Welcome, everyone. This is the regularly scheduled City Council workshop. Today's Monday, September 22nd, it's 6:20 p.m. Around the table, we have Councilor Beck, Councilor Trumbull, Councilor Mallor, myself, Councilor Fournier, Councilor Dean, and Councilor Fish. What's on the agenda is a city solicitor update, and we have our city solicitor, David Sebchak here. You're ready.
I'm David Sebchak, city solicitor. I wanted to just give you a solicitor's update. The first item I wanted to just let you see is that since August 12th, we have had on the city's website a frequently asked questions section in the legal department. And I just wanted to show you that. We have, it's easily accessible.
There it is.
There it is. That's been up since August 12th, and you can go ahead and click on it if you would. It, as you can see, it has a section on the Freedom of Access Act, a section on accessibility and accommodations, a little section on quick claim deeds, and a section on appeals and variances, vacant building registration, a section on legal assistance, and also on rights and responsibilities of residential tenants. I just wanted to show the council that, to let you know that the public has that ability to go and look at those frequently asked questions now. I also wanted to unless you have any questions on that, I'll go to the next bullet item, which is just an update on the vacant building registration ordinance enforcement. The spreadsheet was included in your materials. It is had been updated since the last time. The last time I did a solicitor's update was in July. Since that time, there have been 5 more properties that are no longer vacant that had been vacant at that time. There have been 2 new properties identified, newly identified by the Code Enforcement Department, and so there are now 65 properties, or 3 less on the vacant property list than there were the last time I updated you. There has been up in the right-hand corner of the spreadsheet, there's a green detailed section that gives just a number of details about where the properties are that are not registered. You know, there was a 20 increase in the number of properties that are, decrease in the number of properties that are registered and current. Last time I updated you, there were 53 properties registered and current. It's dropped. There are now 30. And what happened there was there was a large number of them who had been registered. Their 6 months just recently ran out, and there have been code renewal registers since regarding those properties, but they have not reached the point where the NOVs have been issued yet. So the properties that are not registered had been 15 last time I updated you, and it's 35 now for that reason. And anyway, that's just an update in that regard. If you have any questions on that, I'd be glad to answer them. There will be other Rule 80K actions on the way. That's the type of action that's land use enforcement in the court, and they will be actions regarding properties that have trash or junkyard problems, and that will be on the way. Some of them are on the way, are already in the litigation, but there are others that are on the way. If you have any questions about any of those, I just want to give you a very brief update on the Bangor Mall Rule 80K cases, which the hearing was continued to today. I spent all day in that hearing until just a few minutes before your finance committee meeting started, and unfortunately, it did not end. The Bangor Mall it was their turn to present evidence of what they have done to abate the violations. And in fact, there was a lot of evidence that they put on in that regard. And the good news is that there's been significant progress in abating the violations, particularly the stormwater structures. But the violations have not been abated and the proceeding is not over. And I don't know exactly when it'll be continued to at this point, but I don't really want to talk about the details of litigation in open session, but I just did want to give you that update that occurred all day today, and it's finished.
Will the judge set a date for continuing the hearing, or?
The judge has inquired as to whether we could finish the remainder of the witnesses by deposition.
So that might
that's
take some
up in
time.
the air this time. Okay. And then the last thing on my list was just to let you know that we are continuing in the legal department and in the city to get more Freedom of Access Act requests and more complex Freedom of Access Act requests. And we're doing our best to keep up with them. And I believe that we are. But I wanted to just let you know that it's an ongoing thing. It's just more and more of them and more complex ones. So I didn't have any requests in that regard. Just wanted to let you know.
Thank you.
If you have any other questions about anything about the legal department, anything's going on in the legal department lately, be glad to answer.
Good.
No? Okay. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, next up, city manager updates.
I have a few sort of informational items. First on the list, exciting that the airport's runway refurbishment is completed and Jose is planning a ribbon cutting in October. We'll all be invited to. If you have no conflicts or would prefer a particular date and time, please let me know. Otherwise, Jose will just plan it at a time convenient and send around the invite. Very excited to officially cut the ribbon on that project. Another sort of fun update, if you look at the white wall on the back of council chambers, Courtney's turned her attention to working with the Historical Society to putting in a historical timeline installation on that back wall. We saw a mock-up earlier in the week and it was very cool. It had artifacts and information about the history of Bangor. And sometime next year that will be hopefully installed on the wall. I am starting to dig in a little bit into our ARPA grant recipients and their status in spending their ARPA money. When I first started, I was a little bit nervous about the unspent money, but actually over the course of the last 3 months, a lot of recipients have started to more aggressively spend down their funds, which is a wonderful thing. But there's still a handful who have not. So we're going to start meeting with those folks to start getting sort of a firm plan from them about how they're going to spend that money, because we certainly don't want to send that money back to the federal government. We want those dollars spent here in Bangor. Just as a reminder, grant recipients have to spend that money by the end of 2026. So I think we're doing it early enough that we can, avoid any last minute panic, hopefully, on that.
Great. Any questions, comments?
And then just one more item. I was going to invite Chief Hathaway to come and give an update. I know you all received some emails over the course of the weekend and earlier this week about some photos.
Great, thank you.
Photos. So the photo that the city manager referencing is the photo of Oxford with a council candidate on the Chamber on the Bridge. But to put things in context, your officers receive frequent requests to stand or pose and photograph, most especially during the summer months and concerts, parades, fairs, and events on the water. We officers rarely know who they're standing with
and we recognize we have no control over that photograph.
This instance on the bridge is my side. These officers were standing off from the group, individual approached and asked for a photograph. They complied. I spoke with the supervisor this morning. They did not know who this individual was. While we regret taking a photograph with a council candidate, there's no intent by these officers to influence an election, and these photographs do not suggest the police department endorses this or any candidate, so this individual political belief or any other candidate. These officers were doing what we have to them, participating in community. I'm happy with
I think that sums it up for me. I'm good. Other questions?
Okay, how did we to happen to be at that event? Were they would organize the event hire us out? Or do we need extra security because of that type of event?
So we became aware of the event. We communicated with the police department, Brewer, and the sheriff's office. We knew they were going to be present on the Brewer side. We didn't know the size or the scope of the event. So the supervisor was working day shift. He was asked to hold over for 1 hour. And he had a trainee supervisor with him. So he asked that trainee to join him. And they had an officer from the street join as well. That's how the three ended up there. Did we need three there? I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know the size or the scope of the event.
I'm assuming that picture came out. We just saw it this week. I'm assuming that was from like what 9 days or so ago. Was it Friday or Saturday?
I think it was
Previous
Friday,
weekend?
Friday afternoon.
Previous weekend, right? Or was it this week?
It was this past Friday.
Okay, because they had been on the bridge the previous weekend.
Maybe it was the previous weekend. It was a flag waving event
Yeah.
that I'm aware of.
It can't go kind of bridge together or something.
I mean, the officers were there for two reasons. One,
To make sure that the participants were not interfering with traffic and to address any safety issues. We were on the Bangor side, Brewer was on the Brewer side.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
I'd like a photo with you.
That's all I have for city manager updates.
All right. I'd be happy to accept the motion. Go into executive session.
I'll make a motion to go into executive session 1, MRSA 4056C, disposition of real property or economic development. And second, executive session 1, MRSA 4056A, personnel, public official.
We have a motion. We have a second. Questions, comments? Roll call vote. Councilor Beck,
Yes.
Councilor Trumbull.
Yes.
Councilor Mallard,
Yes.
Councilor Dean,
Yes.
Councilor Fish.
Yes.